So one of the best quotes I've heard, and I don't remember who said it, was women rewrote the social contract, all the social contract in the 20th century,
Mhm.
and men are so. And the 21st century is going to be men responding to it.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, it goes in cycles. I don't know if you know WhatIfAltHist, but I had a talk with him about this a while back. WhatIfAltHist is like what if alternative history. So I spoke with him about this, and we have a cycle of a dead civilization rebuilding, hopefully getting a chance to learn, and then here I have a communist with a shirt that says, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to swear, free stuff. And then over here we have feminism versus patriarchy, and in the middle, like, you have to actually have balance. When men are too much in charge, they make certain mistakes and it gets too rigid. When women are too much in charge, they make certain mistakes and it gets too chaotic. And I'm pretty sure that you would rather have an extreme masculine order than an extreme feminine one, because everyone just dies. You just go back to the Stone Age.
Yes.
Yeah. And we talked about how they're just brainwashing to people to believe that all of history was just oppression of women, and then all of a sudden we got feminism and everything is good forever now, whereas in reality it alternates a lot. And
well, I use this example. So feminists have rewritten history, because I hear women say, well, back in the 50s and the 60s, men got to work. They got to work if women couldn't. You know that before the 80s, 50% of our economy was agricultural and manufacturing. How do you think the suburbs got built? Yeah. See, women think that it was all like Mad Men and men were in suits and offices. No, men work hard, physically laborious jobs in factories 12 hours a day, 5 days a week for 30 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And women have fallen in love with this idea of working. And a lot of them, they go out there, they give their best years, their childbearing years, or their best years for some jobs that can care less about them. And then they want out by the time they're 35.
Yeah, lawyers, like, they'll spend all that money and all that time getting to be a lawyer, to do it for a few years and go, I don't like it.
Or even CEOs. The average male CEO's career is 7 to 9 years. Average female CEO is 2 to 3 years. But
wow.
These women claw their way to the top and say, yeah, no thanks. That's why we have a healthcare crisis. Over 52% of medical students are women, and over half of them are going to leave the career field when they have a kid, or by the time they hit 45. I call it the great experiment. Women want to try on being a man, but they don't really want the smoke.
Yeah, they want... I made a really good tweet about that. I think it might be in my book. I'm about to release a tweet book. It was about how women want to be like men because they imagine that men just have great lives. They imagine that men just get up and have, like, a Turkish bathrobe handed to them, and they go to work and they put their feet up on a desk and smoke a cigar. They imagine that men have all these privileges with no responsibilities.
Want more math? Go to itishomemath.com and get the newsletter for insider updates, more videos, and other stuff.
Agreed.
Yeah, and so they reach for this imaginary life that none of us actually have, because, again, like, this is why dating relates so much to politics and society. It's because they're imagining themselves equal to the men that they want to date. So they only look at the top men and they go, what do those guys have? I should have that. They don't want to be equal to the bottom 80% of men, because those guys are miserable. So to answer your question directly, I would say that what we're looking at right now, I think you said in the 21st century, we're looking at a pretty high likelihood of a male backlash. WhatIfAltHist says this too. He has a video on it called The Coming Incel Uprising, I think. And yeah, all the signs are there. Men are just getting really sick of it and not participating anymore. So
would you call them, see, because uprising means that there's going to be some kind of action. Because here's the thing, a lot of feminists think that men hating women is the worst thing that could happen, and I don't think so. I think apathy is. I suppose. And that's why I think this is headed. Because one of the best things I've heard was Greg Adams was on a podcast, and he was going off. He was cooking, right? And the producer was some 21-year-old girl, and he's like, "Well, don't you have a daughter? How dare you say all this stuff? What do you say to your daughter?" He said, "You know what? She's in her teens. I don't say anything because anything I say to her, she's gonna do the exact opposite.
Yeah,
So she's gonna have to make her mistakes, and when she makes enough mistakes, she's gonna have to come to her dad, and then she's gonna listen. And that's what's gonna happen with women. Men are gonna have to disengage. And women are gonna have to make enough mistakes and then come back, and that's what happened."
Yep. Yeah, and it's happened over and over again. I keep forgetting to memorize or at least write down where and when it happened, but I believe that happened in the Arab world, and that is why Islam is so viciously controlling of women, because they like this happened to them really, really bad. The women said, "We want to be lawyers and we want to participate in everything," and they got overrun by barbarians. It's just exactly the same thing that's happening here. They give up on everything. They get overrun, everything gets destroyed. They have a really bad time. And then whoever's left, whoever remains after that, they say, "Well, we can never do that again. So now we're going to make a religion where you have to wear a bag on your head all the time." And it survives to this day. So yeah, we'll see how bad we have it. We've got a lot of modern conveniences to help us through it, but that could be used against us too. It's just too much to predict,
Do you think that there's going to be like a tipping point where women are going to have to start saying that the great experiment isn't working? Maybe working all these hours and having IVF and stuff is going to work. What is it going to take, do you think?
The tipping point is going to be there's going to be a critical mass of millennial women who wake up one day and realize there is no chance. I am not finding the dream man. I'm not having kids. I'm 48. I have to stop dreaming about IVF. There's no getting back the time that I lost. I think that I'm just remembering all the women my age that I dated when I was in my 20s and how I really, there were a lot of them that I just wanted to keep, and they were playing these games and they wanted to have fun, and I'm just wondering what's going to happen in a few years when there's absolutely no ability that they have left to pretend that they still have years. I think that's what's going to be a critical mass of women who can no longer lie to themselves.
Okay, so then once that happens, because my biggest thing with that is that even if you said millennial women, because that means that Gen Z would be after that. And do you think, I don't think that even when those women hit that, they're not going to take much accountability, and then they're still not going to teach their daughters and their daughters after that not to do what they did.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to take accountability. I think that when they get to that point where they know that they're never going to get the dream, they're probably going to act out in some way. They might politically organize and vote for the wrong thing on purpose. They might withdraw from work. There might be some kind of collective, because women are so good at collectivizing, and now they have TikTok too. It could be like the 4B thing. Do you know 4B?
Yeah, it's in Korea.
Yeah,
what a joke.
They could do that. Yeah, I know, it's so ridiculous, but it should be something like that. I think that when they get to that age where they cannot still lie to themselves and say that there's time, they'll probably blame it on men, just like they're doing already, and come up with some retaliation that will be just too much to tolerate.
Pro says that there's going to be a large increase in female crime. And I would agree with that, because here's the thing. One thing, let me know what you think about this. Sure. The next 20, 30 years, especially when you see women in more positions of power, acquiring more, is this automatic assumption that women are morally superior because they're women. That's going to go away, because women are going to abuse power just like men, if not more so.
Yeah.
Right. So you're going to see more women politicians making bad decisions. You can see more women doing fraud, all this different stuff. And it's really going to hurt society, because once again, we keep giving them the benefit of the doubt because they are women.
Yeah. That is something that I was talking to Pearl about that a little bit earlier. That is something that's built into the subconscious. It's built into the human subconscious. when we look at women, we just go, oh, pretty, cute, protect. And that's like a visceral, it's like a deep bodily reaction. The way that women have been behaving over the past few years, like the whole believe all women thing, and all the ridiculous accusations and everything came out, that should have been enough to trip something. But people just want to view women as innocent. But I think that there might be something that overcomes that. There might be some series of events that happens that overcomes even the urge to view women as blameless.
Want more math? Go to itishomemath.com and get the newsletter for insider updates, more videos, and other stuff.